I heard you had a heart attack and something else happened to you, and I'm gonna kick your ass. You know, I says, I've been waiting 40 years for this.
At 88, Max Baer Jr. is finally speaking up, and the backstory hits different. Born Maximilian Adalbert Baer Jr. on December 4, 1937 in Oakland, California, he came into the world with a heavyweight shadow already hanging over him. His father, Max Baer Sr., wasn't just famous, he was a boxing monster, the world heavyweight champ of 1934, and a name everybody knew. That kind of legacy doesn't whisper, it roars. Max Baer Sr. was known for savage punching power and his headline-making win over Primo Carnera. And that fame came with pressure that spilled straight onto his family. All eyes stayed locked on young Max from day one, thanks to his father's bold personality and larger-than-life presence. That intense spotlight shaped his upbringing fast, but his mother, Mary Ellen Sullivan, brought balance to the chaos. She kept a household rooted in education, discipline, and compassion, making sure fame didn't wreck the foundation. Growing up as the kid of a sports legend meant zero privacy and non-stop judgment, but Max wasn't trying to be a copy-paste version of his dad. He carved his own lane, pushing hard in both the classroom and on the field. For school, Max attended Christian Brothers High School in Sacramento, California, a place known for tough academics and strong character standards. It wasn't just about winning, it was about respect and discipline too. While there, Max showed he wasn't just hype, he had real skills. He earned letters in 4 different sports at the same time, which is no small flex by any standard. That kind of grind showed his focus, work ethic, and straight-up competitive fire. Even early on, his athletic range stood out, including serious promise on the golf course, proving that he had way more than one trick in his bag. Max didn't just dabble in sports, he dominated. He won the Sacramento Open Junior Golf Tournament twice, and that wasn't luck, that was skill on full display. This win proved he wasn't boxed into one lane, the guy had range, focus, and serious drive. Those early victories hinted at a future where creativity, hustle, and athletic edge would all collide in one wild career. After tearing it up in high school, Max took things to the next level by enrolling at Santa Clara University, a respected Jesuit school in California with a strong reputation. There, he locked in a bachelor's degree in business administration, sharpening his money sense and leadership game. On top of that, he picked up a minor in philosophy, showing he wasn't just about action, he wanted answers about life, people, and how the world really works. That mix of business smarts and deep thinking paid off big time later, when Max shifted gears from acting into producing, directing, and launching business moves in real estate and entertainment. He wasn't guessing, he was prepared. This wasn't a lucky pivot, it was a calculated play backed by education and experience. Max's acting journey actually started way earlier than most people realize. Back in 1949, he hit the stage in England at the Blackpool Pavilion, appearing in a live production of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. That moment gave him raw, hands-on experience with storytelling in live crowds, planting the seed for what was coming next. But things really cracked open in the 1960s. That's when Max officially broke into the industry, landing real roles and real recognition across TV and film. He signed with Warner Brothers, no small deal, and started popping up in major shows viewers couldn't ignore. Early appearances on hit series like Maverick in 1960 and Surfside 6 made it clear Max Baer Jr. had arrived. From 1960 to 1962, Max Baer Jr. was everywhere on television, stacking credits like non-stop wins. He rolled through Cheyenne 1960 through 1961, Hawaiian Eye 1960 through 1961, 77 Sunset Strip 1960 through 1961, Bronco 1960 through 1961, Sugarfoot 1961, Follow the Sun 1962, and It's a Man's World 1962. Each role sharpened his skills and threw him deeper into the fast, high-pressure grind of TV during America's golden era of television. Even with all that momentum, Max would become forever linked to one role that changed everything. From 1962 to 1971, he played Jethro Bodine on the legendary CBS series The Beverly Hillbillies, and the impact was massive. Jethro, the clueless but lovable son of Jed Clampett's cousin, became an instant fan favorite and a permanent fixture in American pop culture. Max nailed the role with perfect comic timing, leaning into the show's funny clash between rural roots and big city life. Audiences connected with Jethro for nearly a decade, turning Max into a household name overnight. But that fame came with a price because the role stuck to him tight, creating serious typecasting issues that followed him for years. Even at the peak of the Beverly Hillbillies, Max kept hustling. He popped up in other TV projects like Love American Style and Vacation Playhouse between 1969 and 1974, refusing to sit still. He also stepped into film, playing Sergeant Luther Lisco in the 1967 war movie A Time for Killing, showing he could handle tougher material too. Still, the shadow of Jethro Bodine loomed large. Casting agents struggled to see past the character, limiting the range of roles coming his way. It was a classic Hollywood trap when one iconic role brings fame but also locks the door on everything else.
And it was, he was pointing his finger at me about me losing. That's why I looked so cool. No, that was it. I got my nose broken at the end of the first round. The bell rang, I turned like this, he left, blood went everywhere. And in college, you're not there to fight, you're there to get education.
Max didn't stay boxed into acting forever. He flipped the script and took control. He shifted hard into producing, directing, and screenwriting, putting himself behind the wheel instead of waiting on casting calls. In 1974, Max Baer Jr. made a loud entrance as a filmmaker with Macon County Line, a gritty Southern drama where he didn't just call the shots, he starred too, playing Deputy Reed Morgan. The film hit big with audiences and critics, proving he wasn't just a TV face, but a real creative force. He didn't slow down after that win. In 1975, Max produced, wrote, and directed The Wild McCullochs, stepping into the role of Culver Robinson in a family-driven drama. This project showed his range both on screen and behind the camera, stacking momentum and showing Hollywood he could juggle it all without dropping the ball. Then came a major power move. In 1976, Max directed and produced Ode to Billy Joe, a film inspired by the hit song everybody already knew. The movie turned into a box office success, locking in his reputation as a filmmaker who knew how to turn pop culture into pure profit. It was proof he understood audiences just as much as artistry. His final directorial project came with Hometown USA in 1979, marking the close of his main chapter in film direction. But Max wasn't done building, he just shifted arenas. Outside entertainment, Max showed serious business instincts. He jumped into real estate and the casino world, thinking bigger than Hollywood sets. Over the years, he's floated plans for a full-blown Beverly Hillbillies empire, aiming to cash in on the show's lasting fame. That vision reportedly includes Jethro's, a Beverly Hills mansion attraction, and casinos inspired by the Clampett universe, blending nostalgia with straight-up business hustle. Max didn't just think small when it came to business, he aimed for total control. Reports say he locked in deals to secure rights, names, and likenesses, and other show-related properties, all with the goal of turning the Beverly Hillbillies into a full-scale commercial machine. This wasn't about nostalgia alone, it was about building something big, bold, and long-lasting. Outside of business, Max Baer Jr.'s personal life kept pulling public attention too, especially his romantic relationships. Being a TV star and the son of boxing legend Max Baer Sr. meant privacy was hard to come by. Even though Max tried to keep his personal world low-key, certain relationships still became part of the public story, adding layers to who he was beyond Hollywood fame. In 1966, right at the peak of the Beverly Hillbillies craze, Max married Joanne Kathleen Hill. At that time, his role as Jethro Bodine had made him a household name across the country, and the spotlight was intense. But fame isn't always friendly, and the non-stop demands of acting, long hours, constant travel, and public pressure reportedly put real stress on the marriage. Like many young couples trying to survive under constant attention, Max and Hill faced challenges that didn't have easy fixes. The strain kept building, and after 5 years together, the marriage officially ended in divorce in 1971. It was a heavy moment that hit during a period when Max was already trying to break free from being seen as just one character. That split marked a major personal shift for Max, lining up with his push to redefine himself professionally. Post-divorce, he was forced to rebuild both his personal life and his career at the same time, proving once again that fame comes with real consequences. Max never remarried, but that didn't stop his name from popping up alongside some very famous women. Over the years, he was romantically linked with several high-profile figures, keeping tabloids busy and cameras watching. One of the most talked about relationships was with Victoria Principal, a major actress, businesswoman, and author best known for her role on the hit series Dallas. With both of them already well-established stars, their relationship pulls serious media attention.
Max was also reportedly connected to model Sherry E. Rhodes, adding to his image as someone often seen in glamorous social circles during that era. These relationships helped paint him as a recognizable figure off-screen too, not just the comedic face audiences knew from television. His personal life, whether he liked it or not, stayed part of the public conversation. Years later, in 2005, one aspect of Max's past relationship with Victoria Principal suddenly resurfaced in a controversial way. Principal publicly alleged that she had been assaulted during the time they were involved, a claim that instantly reignited media focus on Max long after his TV peak. The allegation sparked intense discussion and divided opinions, putting his name back in headlines for reasons far removed from comedy. Max firmly denied the accusation, stating clearly that the claims were not true. No criminal conviction came from the allegation, and he consistently rejected any suggestion that he had engaged in that kind of behavior. The situation remained a case of sharply conflicting accounts, with no legal ruling against him. This chapter highlighted how messy and complicated public relationships can become, especially when past events are remembered very differently by the people involved. For Max, the controversy clashed hard with the lighthearted, comedic image he had carried for most of his career, showing just how quickly public perception can shift. All of that only pushed Max even further toward privacy as the years rolled on. He slowly stepped back from Hollywood noise and focused more on business ventures, investments, and building a life far from the spotlight. Now, at 88 years old, Max Baer Jr. is at a stage where reflection comes easier than holding things back, and he's finally opening up. To generations of viewers, he'll always be Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hillbillies, but living inside that legacy hasn't always been simple. The show made him famous, no doubt, but it also boxed him in for decades. In his later years, Max has started speaking more honestly about the people who shaped his career, especially one person who left a lasting impression. That person is Irene Ryan, the actress behind Granny, one of the most unforgettable characters in TV history. But according to Max, Irene Ryan was nothing like the sweet, harmless grandma people saw on screen. He said she was sharp, demanding, and tougher than almost anyone he'd ever met. That kind of energy didn't fade when the camera stopped rolling. Max remembers meeting her when he was still young, inexperienced, and unsure of himself, walking onto a set filled with seasoned pros. Irene Ryan wasn't new to the game. She was a full-blown veteran of vaudeville, radio, and film. She carried herself like someone who survived every era of show business, from highs to brutal lows, and everything in between. She didn't tolerate nonsense and never pretended otherwise. Max admits that early on her presence flat-out intimidated him. Standing next to someone with that much experience and authority was no joke, especially for a young actor still finding his footing. I was young, and she could see right through me, Max admits. He says Irene Ryan always knew the difference between real acting and someone just faking it. There was no hiding on that set, not with her watching. Even so, Max gives her major credit for teaching him lessons that stuck for life about professionalism and surviving Hollywood. Ryan demanded precision, preparation, and real respect for the craft. She didn't believe in shortcuts, excuses, or half-effort, period. If you were lazy, she clocked it instantly. But if you showed up serious and ready, she respected you, no matter how tough her reputation seemed.
5'7", which doesn't sound like much. That's about 0.5%. But 0.5% with that many households, 500,000 people watch the show every single day somewhere in the United States. So it's because of all of the new technology. When I was a kid and when we were doing the Hillbillies, there was only really ABC, NBC, CBS, and then local channels. There wasn't anything else.
Max insists there was a side of Irene Ryan almost nobody ever saw off camera. When the lights went down, she could be surprisingly warm. He remembers her dry, wicked sense of humor, sitting around telling old vaudeville stories that would make your hair stand on end. Those moments showed a completely different woman than the one audiences thought they knew. Ryan had lived through real hardship long before the Beverly Hillbillies made her famous later in life. She'd survived failed marriages, money problems, and years of uncertainty, and that shaped how she viewed success. She valued it because she knew just how fast it could disappear. Max also clears the air on long-standing rumors about tension on set. Yes, there were moments, no doubt.
He explains that when strong personalities collide, sparks are bound to fly. Irene was fiercely protective of her character and the heart of the show. She knew Granny wasn't just comic relief, she was the backbone of the entire family. Looking back, Max admits early on he underestimated her instincts. She was almost always right, I just didn't see it back then. Max admits now, looking back with clear eyes. As the years passed, his respect for Irene Ryan only grew deeper. She worked non-stop right up to the end, and Max says it quietly but firmly. She never slowed down. Even as her health declined, Irene believed the audience deserved your absolute best, no matter how you felt. Her death in 1971, not long after the Beverly Hillbillies wrapped up, hit Max hard. To him, it wasn't just the loss of a co-star, it felt like the end of an entire era. Today, when he talks about her, there's no bitterness, just clarity and truth. Irene Ryan helped make me who I am as an actor, he says. She challenged me, scared me, and taught me, all at the same time. Max believes history's been kind to Irene Ryan, but not always accurate. People remember the laughs, the jokes, the funny moments, but they forget the strength it took to deliver them. She wasn't just funny, she was tough, disciplined, and built to survive in a brutal industry. At 88, Max has no interest in myths or sugar-coated nostalgia. He keeps it real. The truth, as he sees it, is simple. Irene Ryan was a survivor. She earned every laugh she ever got, and she fought for them too. By finally saying that out loud, Max honors not just a legendary co-star, but a woman whose grit and talent left a permanent mark on television history. Max also reflects on his deep and lasting friendship with Buddy Ebsen. Their bond stretched across decades, built not just on shared success from the Beverly Hillbillies, but on genuine respect and real affection. Buddy wasn't just a co-star, he was a mentor, a steady presence, and a trusted friend whose guidance shaped Max's life and career in ways that never faded. In his later years, Baer Jr. became far more selective when and how he spoke publicly, choosing honesty over hype every time. He wasn't chasing applause anymore, he was chasing accuracy. Friends close to him say the shift came from decades of watching stories get twisted, simplified, or flat-out misunderstood by outsiders who weren't there. Max has openly said that fame is loud when you're young, but memory is louder when you're old. The noise fades, and what's left are the moments that actually mattered. For him, that meant lessons learned the hard way, people who shaped him, and choices that defined his path long after the cameras stopped rolling. He's also been clear that he doesn't regret the Beverly Hillbillies, even with all the baggage that came with it. The show opened doors, changed his life, and gave him opportunities most actors never get. At the same time, he admits it took years to step out from under Jethro's shadow and be seen as a full creative force. What stands out now is Max's calm confidence. He doesn't rush to defend his legacy or rewrite history. He lets the work speak. Acting, directing, producing, and building businesses all played a role in who he became, and he owns every chapter without apology. Those closest to Max say he values loyalty, preparation, and grit above everything else, traits he picked up from tough mentors, hard sets, and real-life setbacks. He believes success isn't about being liked, it's about being ready when the moment hits. At 88, Baer Jr. isn't trying to impress anyone anymore. He's focused on telling things straight, giving credit where it's due, and letting the truth land where it lands. No spin, no performance, just lived experience from someone who's seen Hollywood from every angle. That bond stayed strong right until the end, and the final moments were deeply human and emotional. Max, along with Donna Douglas, went to visit Buddy Ebsen in the hospital shortly before he passed, sitting with him, offering comfort and sharing quiet companionship in his final days. When Buddy Ebsen died from pneumonia on July 6, 2003, it wasn't just the loss of a television legend, it was the loss of a true friend whose impact went way beyond the screen. As time moved on, those memories became even heavier. In 2015, Donna Douglas passed away, quietly closing yet another beloved chapter of television history. With her death, Baer Jr. became the last surviving regular cast member of the Beverly Hillbillies, a title that carried both honor and heartbreak all at once. Suddenly, Max wasn't just an actor from a classic show, he became a living bridge to a vanished era of television, an era built on warmth, simplicity, and characters that felt like family to millions of viewers across America. Carrying those memories alone, he stood as the final witness to the friendships, laughter, and shared moments that once brought the country together every week. Today, Baer Jr. represents more than nostalgia. He represents endurance, loyalty, and the responsibility of preserving a legacy that still resonates across generations. The story of the Beverly Hillbillies lives on because of the people who gave it heart, and Max remains the last voice who was there from beginning to end. If this story moved you or taught you something new, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who loves classic television, and drop a comment below with your thoughts.
Your support keeps these stories alive, and we'll see you in the next one.